Charana Padma Kevalabhakati Sadma Vannomwe Savadana Mateya Vannomwe Savadana Mateya Jara Prasharivai Bhavatori Yoga Jara Prasharivai Bhavatori Yoga Krishna Prapti Hoi Jaha Hoi Te Krishna Prapti Hoi Hoi Te Gurumukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriyo Akya Gurumukha Padma Bhakya Chitete Koriyo Akya Arna Koriyo Mane Asha Arna Koriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Radhe Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Radhe Aise Uttama Gati Jiprasare Pure Savo Asha Jiprasare Pure Savo Asha Chakudana Diloje Janmi Janmi Prabhu Se Chakudana Diloje Janmi Janmi Prabhu Se Divya Gyan Hriday Prabha Sita Divya Gyan Hriday Prabha Sita Prema Bhakti Jahate Avidya Vinasa Jate Prema Bhakti Jahate Avidya Vinasa Jate Vediga Jaharacha Vito Vediga Jaharacha Vito Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamajanara Bandhu Lokanatha Lokera Jivana Lokanatha Lokera Jivana Prabhupada Lokera Jivana Gurudev Lokera Jivana Ha Prabhu Korodoya Dehamore Parachaya Ha Prabhu Korodoya Dehamore Parachaya Ebe Jasa Chushukti Bhuvana Ebe Jasa Chushukri Bhuvana Aha Prabhu Korodoi De Homore Pachaya Aha Prabhu Korodoi De Homore Pachaya Maybe just to shoot Tribhuvana Maybe just to shoot Tribhuvana Ha Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Ha Prabhu Korodoi Deho More Parachaya Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Aramajanara Bandhu Prema Bhakti Jahite Ave Jave Nasajate Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jai Guru Dev Patita Pavana Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Prabhu Korodoya Deho More Parachaya Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jai Prabhupada Patita Pavana Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Gurudeva. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Let's set our humble obeisance. Goes to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale. Prabhupadati Priyashi Girirajaya Swami. Suvakresha Vigaya Veda Sadhana Shalini. Adarasa Vihari Bhakti Vyastra Pradayini. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us today. This program is with the desire to please you and all the devotees. So we thank all the devotees also for having joined us, all the loving devotees that we have today from all over the world. Thank you very, very much for joining us. And we will start the program today by Kamala Sundari Prabhu. She will speak about some Zoom house rules.
Hare Krishna, everyone. So yes, again, a very warm welcome from all of us, especially Sundarananda Prabhu and myself, that we're going to be co-emceeing this very special disciples program. And again, thank you everyone for joining. And so a few of the technical aspects is, please just unmute yourself if you're going to speak. And as far as possible, please try to keep your videos on, as Guru Maharaj really likes to see all of the devotees that are participating in the program, if possible. So our first item is a very instructive video by Srila Prabhupada. And this video has been composed by the very talented Sudama Prabhu. So we'll now cue the video. Thank you.
Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna.
So, this Vedic instruction, it is not meant for any particular person, any community or any country. It is meant for everyone. So, we should take advantage. We are therefore publishing in English so many books so that people may understand. English language is spoken practically all over the world. We are selling also. These books are being appreciated by the professors in university and highly learned circles and common men also. So, I am lecturing for say half an hour or 45 minutes. It is not possible to explain all the Vedic intelligence, but we are distributing this book. I request you to read all these books as far as possible and take advantage of it.
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
So, those who have joined this Krishna consciousness movement, I request it, they follow the regulated principles as instructed by Srila Swami, with enthusiasm, read books and distribute books. That is very great service. I speak something, you may forget, but if you read from the book, you will get good opportunity to understand the philosophy. So, our principle is to study the book as well as to distribute the book. People will be benefited and their life will be successful. This is Krishna consciousness movement.
So this is Vaishnava philosophy. They want to become one with the God. But we keep ourselves always servant of God. And to become the best servant of God is also to become his father and mother. This is Nandatma. Therefore one devotee prayed, Om Yangsi Nandana Bande Jasalinde para Brahma. Sutima Pare, Sitima Pare. The devotee is praying that somebody is studying the Vedas, somebody is studying the Puranas, the Smritis, Shruti Mahapare, Smriti Mahapare, and somebody is studying But the devotee says, I do not want to understand God. I want to worship Nanda Maharaj in the courtyard of his house. The Parabrahma is crawling. That is Nandatma. That is the, superior position of Nanda Maharaj. So, this is philosophy ordinary man cannot understand, but Vaishnava philosophy is so nice that instead of becoming one with the Supreme, they want to become the father of the Supreme. This is Vaishnava. Nandatma. Rashika Sekha. This is also a pleasure. Krishna wants to be subordinate to his devotee as son, so that he may be punished. He is punishing everyone, but he wants to be punished also. That is his pleasure. And who will punish him? His father and mother, or superior lover, Radharani can punish him. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is very scientific and sublime. Try to understand. Always read the books. Don't try to understand Krishna ordinarily. Manusyanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddhaya. Jatatam visiddhyanam kaschid vettiman tattvata. To understand Krishna is not so easy. But if you follow the Mahajan, if you try to understand the philosophy through the parampara system, then you will realize Krishna and your life will be successful. Thank you very much. So, Bhagavat means the complete knowledge. Bhagavat, from Bhagavan, it is called Bhagavat. From Bhagavat Sabda, it is called Bhagavat. So, in the association of Bhagavat, devotees, if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, Sajatiya Snigdhasa, Sajatiya, when people thinking in the same way, so that means devotees who are interested in Bhagavad Bhakti, to understand Bhagavan, they should read Srimad Bhagavatam in the association. We should have regular classes, just like school and colleges, 8 hours, 6 hours. Be engaged always in reading Srimad Bhagavatam, discussing amongst yourselves, then you will make progress. Otherwise, if you take it as an official, routine work, you should take as routine work, but with consciousness that you have to learn something. Not simply attending the class, but to learn something. In this way, make your life successful, because after all, everything is being done Daiva Chodita, impelled by the Supreme Person. The Supreme Person is behind everything. So, in the association of devotees, if we read Srimad Bhagavatam regularly, then our material contamination will be dissolved and our spiritual consciousness will come out, and that will make our life successful. Thank you very much. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Jai, very nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Sudama Prabhu. And after hearing from about the importance of reading Srila Prabhupada's books, we will now next hear Swarup Damodar Prabhu to understand the program that we want to establish in Durban about reading Prabhupada's books. So, Swarup Damodar Prabhu, will you please address us?
Om Jnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna to all the devotees. So wonderful to be in all of y'all's presence under the shelter, the merciful shelter of our Guru Maharaj, Srila Giriraj Maharaj. Over the last few months, mainly in the mood of increasing and improving our service to our Guru Maharaj, one of our senior-most God sisters, Her Grace Kunti Devi Prabhu, gathered some of Guru Maharaj's senior disciples to engage in discussions to find ways in which we can enhance all the disciples of Guru Maharaj and enhance their connection with Guru Maharaj in terms of their relationship and service to Guru Maharaj, in terms of their personal development in bhakti, and in terms of their relationships with each other, and also how we can better represent Guru Maharaj and his mood and his service to Srila Prabhupada. And these discussions, Guru Maharaj, he participated in a number of these discussions with those devotees and has inspiringly encouraged his team to develop different ways to encourage the devotees and to engage them in service and to keep them all inspired in Krishna consciousness. These discussions were very inspiring and so far have proven very progressive, and many types of initiatives have already commenced in different parts of the world in different areas of Guru Maharaj's service, of service to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Regarding South Africa, specifically this program that we want to launch today is focused on South Africa. We know that Guru Maharaj's connection here has been very significant in the history of Prabhupada's movement here. Guru Maharaj has been involved here for, I think, almost 40 years now, and has encouraged devotees in many wonderful ways, has kept the movement growing in so many amazing ways here. And although he hasn't been here for many, many years, due to severely reduced travels, Guru Maharaj has many, many disciples who are very much involved in the ongoing development of Srila Prabhupada's movement here in South Africa. And many of Guru Maharaj's disciples here also provide a lot of spiritual guidance to many, many devotees all across the country. So, in honor of Guru Maharaj's service in South Africa and in honor and reciprocation of with the devotees that are so committed to Guru Maharaj's service, his disciples here in South Africa, and especially to further continue and enhance Guru Maharaj's service to Srila Prabhupada in South Africa, we are very excited to launch a program, a service that will deeply encourage his devotees in South Africa. And one of the best ways to be encouraged and inspired is to be in the association of the great saintly devotees, especially saintly devotees like Srila Prabhupada, like Guru Maharaj's god brothers and god sisters. And we know from Srila Prabhupada's teachings that the most consistently appreciable way to be in the association of saintly devotees is to constantly access their Vani, their instructions, and their spiritual teachings. The previous acharyas, and especially for us, Srila Prabhupada, has blessed us with their personal association, their Vani, in the form of their transcendental books. And we know Guru Maharaj's main service to Srila Prabhupada also is to write, and he has also shared the best of his association, of his personal association, in the form of his books. So today, in Guru Maharaj's holy presence, we are launching a reading and discussion program to systematically explore Srila Prabhupada's books, Guru Maharaj's books, and as guided by Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, the books of the previous acharyas. And very importantly, it's a reading and discussion program in the association of each other, the devotees. Because in each other's association, with each other's help and guidance, and with Guru Maharaj's mercy, we are sure to unlock the many spiritual treasures that lie there in Srila Prabhupada's books, in Guru Maharaj's books. So today we encourage all the devotees here today to enthusiastically participate and to join the groups that we will share shortly. And in a way, we all can be assured the direct association of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and all the previous acharyas. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Swarup Damodar Prabhu. Thank you very much for your beautiful words explaining in essence the purpose of this reading groups that we're going to start. In order to give us a testimony of the effect of the reading groups, I wanted to ask, like Swarup Damodar Prabhu mentioned, one of our leading god sisters, Kunti Devi Prabhu, to give us a testimony. Actually, from her, most of these initiatives have sprouted from her desires to see devotees well in Krishna consciousness. Her heart's flooded to us, and we, in our turn, are trying to continue that desire to serve Guru Maharaj in the best way possible, but through association and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. So I wanted to ask Kunti Devi Prabhu to give us give us some words, some testimony of the importance of reading Srila Prabhupada's books in association. Hare Krishna.
We're not here. I'm not here. Yeah.
You're muted. Kunti Devi, you're muted. Sorry.
Thank you very much, everyone. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Sudama Prabhu, for that beautiful, beautiful video. And Swarup Prabhu always expressing everything so nicely. I think staying here with Guru Maharaj, the only service I can offer is to realize how much service there is that we need to do for Guru Maharaj. And that's why I appealed to many other devotees to help me so that we can serve each other and serve Guru Maharaj. And one of the best things that happened to me in the last year is that one of my god sisters invited me to participate in a reading group. And we have been reading every morning, for me early in the morning, daily. And it has just, just given me so much life. And we don't even actually spend too much time discussing, but just being in the presence of Srila Prabhupada's words, just being in the presence of this very sacred words and just opening one's heart to those words, it's just bathing. I really cannot miss a day. And I look forward to that reading every single day. But what happened, we started reading because we all know that we have to read Srila Prabhupada's books, as the video showed. But as we started reading, our friendships and relationships amongst each other began to develop and deepen without even having to really talk. And even though we were all already friends and have known each other for many years, and definitely I consider those ladies some of my closest friends, but it just deepened that friendship and brought it to a higher level of a more spiritual type of relationship, rather than maybe just talking about anything. And in the process, we recognize the needs of the other person, whether it's, practical or emotional, and, we can just offer support. And sometimes it's just by being there. Sometimes the support just comes from the words in the books. And just a few days ago, we were reading, and I really had a burning question, and it was sort of troubling me a little bit. But right at the end of that chapter, Srila Prabhupada just revealed, just pacified my question. So there's no doubt that reading together is an extremely powerful spiritual practice. It's one of the most powerful spiritual practices, one of the 5 most powerful spiritual practices. Every day when I read, I just cannot believe what Srila Prabhupada accomplished by printing these amazingly beautiful, powerful, completely transcendental literatures for our benefit. And I just began to really understand how important it is that we do this, that we read together, we base our relationships on this, on these spiritual practices, because japa is a bit of a personal practice. Sankirtan festivals are amazing, but they're not always accessible. They're once or twice a year where we could really do a chant together all day long, and it's so blissful and wonderful. But reading we can do together every single day. And I really would like to encourage everyone. And there are so many beautiful verses where Srila Prabhupada himself talks about this need that we read together, that his words can pacify all the people who are aggrieved in this material world, and this is all of us. And to end, I just want to chant this one verse because I know Guru Maharaj loves this verse, and I think we all know it, but I will just chant it. Tavakatam ritam tapta jivanam kavibiriditam kalmasapaham shravanamangalam Srimadattatam Bhuvigrinantiye Buridajana. This is from the 10th canto, but I'm going to read the translation from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 14, text 13. My Lord, the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those who are always aggrieved in this material world. These narrations are transmitted by exalted personalities, and they eradicate all sinful reactions. Whoever hears these narrations attains all good fortune. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Those who spread the message of Godhead are certainly the most munificent welfare workers. So, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mother Kunti Devi. I feel so enlivened that you've taken the time to join us, and thank you for blessing us with your presence. That was really, really, yes, enlivening to hear. Thank you so much. So now we've reached the foremost highlight of our program, the moment I guess we're all waiting for, and that's to hear from our dear Guru Maharaj. So we invite you, Guru Maharaj, to please address us. Thank you.
I will have to ask you to wait another moment, and I'll be right back. Hare Krishna, Krishna, That was nice. We can see more of that. Usually before I speak, I sing the Mangalacharna prayers and lead a short kirtan. So can we accommodate that in this program?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, most definitely.
Okay. Vande Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhantam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gurudeva Srila Gurudeva Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Pariprajakacharya Stotra Satasri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So thank you all for joining us for this most important discussion about reading and discussing Srila Prabhupada's books in the Association of Devotees, and for launching this program in Durban to have regular reading and discussion of Srila Prabhupada's books amongst the devotees. Again, I would request the devotees on Zoom to put on your cameras as far as possible so we can have a more personal interaction. To begin, I will read an important verse from Srimad Bhagavatam that describes the process of chanting and reading and discussing among devotees and the result of it. This is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 25, verse 25. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata tajoshanad asvavarga vartmani shradha ratir bhaktir anukramishyati. Satam prasangan mama virya samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana kata Tajoshanad asvapavarga vartmani Shraddha ratir bhaktiranu Satam of pure devotees, Prasangat through the association, Mama, my, Virya, wonderful activities, Samvida, by discussion of, Bhavanti, become, Hrit, to the heart, Karna, to the ear, Rasayana, pleasing, Katha, the stories, Tat, of that, Joshanat, by cultivation, Ashu, quickly, Apavarga, of liberation, Vartmani, on the path, Shraddha, firm faith, Rati, attraction, Bhakti, devotion, Anukramishati, will follow in order. In the association of pure devotees, discussion of the pastimes and activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter he is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. So the last line of this verse has been discussed by our previous acharyas to indicate that by this process of discussing Krishna in the association of devotees, one progresses. Shraddha in this verse refers to all the stages up to Ashakti. Rupa Goswami explains in the Bhaktarasamrita Sindhu, Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajana Kriya, and so on. So Shraddha here refers to those first 7 stages from Shraddha to Asakti. Then Rati is a synonym for Bhava, Bhava Bhakti. And in this context, the acharyas say Bhakti refers to Prema Bhakti. So by this process, one can progress through all the different stages, one after the other, ultimately to Prema Bhakti, at which stage, as Srila Prabhupada says, real devotion and devotional service begin. Now, what is the effect of this? Of course, we just discussed the result in terms of spiritual progress. But there's another result that is mentioned 2 verses earlier, 3:25-23. Madashraya katam rishta shinvanti katayanti cha tapanti vidi dasta pa naitanmad gatachetasa. Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. And the reason Srila Prabhupada uses the term sadhu is that in the preceding verses, we hear about sadhus, sadhava, sadhabhushana. Now this process was recommended by Srila Prabhupada in one of his last purports that he dictated while he was on his bed in Vrindavan in his last days. This was his purport to Srimad Bhagavatam 10.13.54, almost at the very end of his translation effort. Quote, discuss Bhagavatam daily as much as possible, he said. Everything will be clarified because Bhagavata is the essence, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, and Vyasadev Krita, Kim Va Parayar. When he was self-realized, Vyasadeva wrote this, Aha Muni Krite. The more we read Srimad Bhagavatam, the more its knowledge becomes clarified. Each and every verse transcendental. So yes, here Srila Prabhupada says, discuss Bhagavatam daily as much as possible. So I very much welcome this undertaking to systematically read Srila Prabhupada's books in the Association of Devotees. When I first joined ISKCON in the old Boston temple, Srila Prabhupada introduced Istagosti, which is, in essence, chanting and hearing about Krishna, or discussing what we have read in the Association of Devotees. And Srila Prabhupada instructed us to have this Istagosti once a week and to discuss what we had read. And if we have questions, to try to get the answers from within our association. And if necessary, we could refer our questions to him. But he said the discussion should be on meaningful topics. He said, for example, we don't need to discuss how many miles long was Putana's body, but we should discuss topics that are meaningful. So one of our early devotees in Boston, originally she was in New York, Prabhupada wrote to her, Balai Dasi, who's now in New Dwarka. Please accept my blessings. I am in due receipt of your letter dated March 19th, along with the Istagosti notes. And I am always so pleased to see how nicely the Istagosti meetings are being carried on. So I'm always anticipating your letters, along with the Istagosti reports. And then in a letter to Satsvarupa, who's my first temple president in Boston, he wrote, You should therefore discuss the ISKCON from current reading matters from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. We should try to understand everything from the standard of devotional service. And yes, Srila Prabhupada has written many letters encouraging discussion in ISKCON. Later, sometimes ISKCONs became, sort of business meetings in which devotees discussed, different practical topics, which is fine, though that's also necessary. But specifically, ISKCON was meant for discussion of Krishna, especially based on our readings. And the term ISKCON literally means desirable association. So our association with each other is very desirable when we discuss Krishna Katha, when we discuss what we've read in Srila Prabhupada's books and how to understand them more deeply and apply them in our lives. And of course, along with reading, we have to be very attentive to our sadhana, especially our chanting of our rounds. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Because that cleanses the heart. I mean, chanting and hearing in general cleanses the heart. And specifically chanting our rounds, or our in kirtan, also, of course, Cheto Darpana Marjanam, it cleanses the dust from the mirror of the mind. So we should chant as much as possible. In one talk in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada said, if you've got time, chant Hare Krishna. Don't speak nonsense. Chant Hare Krishna. And if we're able to speak about Krishna, that's also very fine. But somehow or other, this chanting should go on, chanting and hearing, chanting and hearing, chanting and hearing. And as Her Grace Kunti Devi Dasi mentioned, a byproduct of this association is that we become closer to each other. Our relationships with each other become deeper and more meaningful. So we should do this. And so, as I've sometimes mentioned, there are 10 offenses against the holy name. And one is to blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version, the fourth offense. But there are different degrees of offenses, which was demonstrated in the pastime in which Bhrigu Muni visited Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and Lord Vishnu. I won't describe that pastime now, although it's very relishable from Srimad Bhagavatam. But the most subtle offense is an offense committed in the mind. When Bhrigu Muni met Lord Brahma, who's his father, he failed to offer obeisances, which as a son or disciple he should have to his father or guru. So that was considered an offense in the mind. And next, he went to Lord Shiva, who is his brother, and he told Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva came forward to embrace him as a brother, and he told Lord Shiva, don't touch me. You're always associated with ghosts and hobgoblins. You have ashes all over you. Don't touch me. So that was considered an offense committed with words. And then finally, he came to Lord Vishnu, who was reclining, and his lotus feet were being massaged by his eternal consort, Lakshmi Devi. And he committed an offense with his body. He actually kicked, shocking to say, but it was a pastime, but he kicked Lord Vishnu on the chest. But Lord Vishnu was so sublime, he said, "Oh, Bhrigu Muni, please forgive me for not receiving you properly. I hope that my chest was not too hard on your soft lotus feet." So this fourth offense, to blaspheme the Vedic literatures or literatures in pursuance of the Vedic version, to actually blaspheme them would be, an offense committed with the words. But it's also a subtle offense, you could say, an offense committed within the mind, not to read the books, not to attend the classes and discussions, because it indicates, a subtly offensive mentality. And, Srila Prabhupada, he would stay up practically the whole night translating to give us these books. And so we should, take advantage of the books, as Srila Prabhupada said in these videos that we saw. And we should not, be ungrateful or neglectful of what he gave us. And if we regularly, read and discuss, we'll find it very enlivening on many levels, in many ways. Our relationship with Srila Prabhupada and the Parampara, ultimately our relationship with Krishna, our relationships with one another. So yes, we should do this. So I request all of you, dear devotees, to take part in this reading and discussion program. It's a wonderful initiative, but the program will be successful, and you yourselves individually will be successful in your spiritual progress to the extent that you participate. So I'm not sure what we have next, but we could have questions and comments now, or we could just move along.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Thank you for that most appropriate verse and discussion. Yes, there is time for questions and comments. So if anyone does have a question or comment, please use the raise hand function on your Zoom program, and we'll call on you when it's your turn.
Okay, I'll be back in a minute while you're considering your questions and comments.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
Before we come to questions and comments, I wanted to add one more thing from my personal experience. One of my sannyasi godbrothers came to spend some time with me here at my ashram in Carpinteria. And we spent some time discussing some verses from Srimad Bhagavatam. And it was really enlivening and enlightening. And we were discussing with each other how nice it was to spend time together discussing Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, very practical. Okay, so now we can have questions and comments.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. So we have Brahma Samhita Prabhu. Will you please unmute and ask your question? Unmute, yes.
Okay, I think I got it now. I'm assuming you can hear me, so.
We can.
Please accept my humble obeisances to all the devotees. I suppose the thing is that this question comes as a result of a discussion I was having with a devotee the other day. And I'm asking this because it seems like it comes up a lot. I suppose, so we're being advised to hear Srimad Bhagavatam here in the Association of Devotees. But to do this type of hearing or any type of devotional practice, it requires some desire on our part. And what we find many times is that sometimes because of our material attachments, we don't have such a desire to do such things. And I suppose I'm wondering if is can a person be so conditioned, or a devotee be so conditioned that they just not have a desire to do things that are necessary like this? I mean, is it that sometimes we might find ourselves in such a conditioned state that we just have to accept, well, I'm just like this, and yeah, there's no point in trying? That's my question.
Well, you know, as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sangat Sanjayate Kama, which means that desire develops from association. So even if one's desire is weak, but if one associates with good devotees, sincere devotees, enthusiastic devotees, one's desire will develop. There's no such thing as being too conditioned. Well, all these 5 potent processes, that, you know, the chanting of the holy name, reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, and associating with devotees can overcome one's conditioning. But I should explain a little about the definition of sadhu sangha, association with devotees, as given by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. He says, Swajati ashaye snigde sadhu sangha swatovare. So swajatiya means, I mean, in a more literal sense, swa means one's own, and jat, like caste. But in a general sense, we can say like-minded, and in our case, that would mean people who especially have faith in Srila Prabhupada. So swajati ashaye snigde. Now snigde means affection. And as so the way Srila Prabhupada has translated the verse, swajati ashaye snigde, who have a similar affection for the Lord. And that is certainly a valid and powerful translation. But in this verse, the word snigde can also mean that that sadhu should be affectionate to you. So, swajati ashaye snigde sadhu swanga swatovare, and swatovare means should be more advanced than you are. So sadhu sangha, as you know, one of the 5 most potent items of devotional service, has these elements. That, yeah, devotees should be like-minded, have a similar affection for the Lord. He should be affectionate towards you, and he should be more advanced than you are. And that association will, you know, definitely help you overcome lethargy or whatever the other manifestation of your conditioning is. Do you have anything more on this topic, or are you satisfied? But you need to unmute yourself.
So yeah, actually I would, if you don't mind. With regards to associating with devotees who are more advanced, I've also heard it said that the way that you get the Association of Devotees who are more advanced is that you first have to be able to tolerate devotees that may give you some trouble. Could you comment on that? I hate to put it like that.
You're saying that in order to get more advanced association, you have to tolerate like neophyte devotees who give you trouble, or what are you saying exactly?
I've heard it said, I heard this from a class once, that the way that you get the association of devotees who are more advanced is that you have to first be able to tolerate devotees who might sometimes, because of our conditioning, when we come to Krishna consciousness, certainly in my case, we carry a lot of conditioning with us. And if we are associated with devotees who are also in that condition, sometimes the modes of nature may not line up so perfectly, and there might be some sort of difficulty in that type of association. So I guess the idea was, that this devotee was trying to express is that is something that we have to learn how to tolerate. And as a result of tolerating that, Krishna will be merciful unto us and allow us to associate with devotees who are more advanced. I'm paraphrasing, but that was kind of like what I got of it, and I just wanted to put it out because you did say something about it.
I think that's a nice idea. And it made me think of a quite significant instruction that Srila Prabhupada gave in a lecture in New York on January 3rd, 1967. He says, suppose you are in this Krishna conscious society. Now, you cannot expect that all the members of the society will be first-class men. How can we expect that? We are collecting members of the society from all classes of men. So there may be a man in goodness, a man in passion, and a man in ignorance. But if you think, oh, this man is not good, that man is not good, no, you should be tolerant. You haven't got any connection with this man or that man. You are connected with the philosophy, with the process of life. The same example, suppose you are on the ship. You do not find all men to be of your choice. There may be different kinds of men, but what is that to you? You have to patiently cross the Atlantic Ocean. Just sit down tightly on the ship and take advantage of the opportunity. That is your business. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Maharaj, and Brahma Samhita Prabhu for the nice question. I have a question here from Usha Lakshman. Usha Lakshman, would you like to unmute? Question? It's on the chat, but if you can and want, you can unmute and ask the question directly to Guru Maharaj.
That's better.
Usha Lakshman, Madaji, are you in the
Hare Krishna.
able to unmute? Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, Usha, will you ask your question?
Yes, Guru Maharaj, Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. I asked that whether this Ishta Goshti sharing can be done in regional GRS Sangha meetings.
Well, I haven't thought of that. I mean, in one sense, when I have a program, I, take questions and comments. But yeah, I guess this is a good question for sort of Damodar Prabhu, whether people from outside of Durban can join this this Dagosti program, or if it's just for devotees in Durban.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Usha Mataji. Yeah, so we thought about this, and from a logistic point of view, trying to arrange a time and the frequency that could be most easily facilitating all the devotees, it seemed best to keep it according to country.
Yeah.
And we are hoping that today's program will inspire Guru Maharaj's disciples and devotees in each zone, each country, each region to get together and form similar reading groups. Like there are devotees here from Mauritius on this program, from Europe, from America, from India, and we hope that this program will inspire them to organize.
Yeah.
And we can also lend some assistance from our experience thus far in trying to develop the program. So if anybody would like to, they could please contact Kunti Devi Prabhu, Vrindavan Chandra Prabhu, Sundarananda Prabhu, or myself, and we could help try to set up those programs with you all in y'all's countries. Still, it is open. It is open, so anybody can join. But it will be easier to do it country by country.
Well, that's an excellent suggestion. Usha's from Mauritius, and Mauritius can easily have this program there, and I would recommend that they do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Braja Bhakti Devi, could you unmute and ask your question? You need to unmute. Sorry, we can't hear you. We still can't hear you, Braja Bhakti.
Do you know how to unmute? Can we explain to her how to unmute?
If you look at usually at the bottom, there's a microphone picture.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Now it's
right. Thank you.
No, it was not allowing me to unmute, so I was just chatting with you, saying it's not allowing me to unmute. Now it's allowing me to. Thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. My question is, Maharaj, you were mentioning that we have to hold on to the boat tightly and keep going. So I was wondering, while we are holding on to that boat and being in that boat, sometimes we may tend to judge others and try to become impatient and commit offenses, and then we ourselves become little intolerant, sometimes with ourselves, sometimes with other devotees. Would you please give us some advice or guidance on how we avoid that?
Well, indirectly, you're asking about forgiveness. And forgiveness is a very important factor in the life of a devotee, and especially for a Brahmin. Just 1 second. So, forgiveness defines and beautifies a Brahman. And I'm going to quote 2 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9, 15, 39, and 40. I'll just read the translations. 39. My dear son, we are all Brahmins and have become worshipable for the people in general because of our quality of forgiveness. It is because of this quality that Lord Brahma, it is because of this quality that Lord Brahma, the supreme spiritual master of this universe, has achieved his post. And text 40, the duty of a Brahmin is to culture the quality of forgiveness, which is illuminating like the sun. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, is pleased with those who are forgiving. And in his purport, Srila Prabhupada explains, quote, different personalities become beautiful by possessing different qualities. Chanakya Pandit says that the cuckoo bird, although very black, is beautiful because of its sweet voice. Similarly, a woman becomes beautiful by her chastity and faithfulness to her husband. And an ugly person becomes beautiful when he becomes a learned scholar. In the same way, Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras become beautiful by their qualities. Brahmins are beautiful when they are forgiving. Everyone becomes beautiful by his special qualities, and the special quality of the Brahman, as described here, is forgiveness. And that forgiveness can apply not only to the other devotees, and it could also apply to yourself. To forgive yourself if you find some unwanted thoughts or unwanted activities. Forgive yourself and try to do better. Does that answer your question, or would you like to discuss more?
Thank you, Maharaj. But what if we are on the other side of it? You know, if we say something we can forgive, but if the other person doesn't forgive us, what is our duty?
Well, in one sense, to forgive the other person for not forgiving you. And I mean, this, of course, is a tricky question because not only is it good for you if the person forgives you, but it's good for the person to forgive you. So, if possible, act in such a way that the person will forgive you. Or maybe, if things have deteriorated a bit in the relationship, ask a third party to help the other person to forgive you. Yeah, forgiveness is very important. It's really troublesome to the heart not to forgive and to maintain whatever grudges, resentment, blame, such things.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Rajabhakti Mataji. Kunti Devi Prabhu, you have a question? Comment?
Yes. In your discussions, Guru Maharaj, or in the quotations also, there's a lot of emphasis on discussion. But sometimes I feel that almost every aspect of modern life is so contentious. Just what we eat, how we dress, Prabhuji, Mataji, that I sometimes find maybe, in our reading groups that we actually just allow Srila Prabhupada to speak to us. And we don't try to discuss too much, because often we actually just get lost in the discussion. And then we have so many different opinions. And before we know it, we are back in sort of mundane consciousness, trying to find some words of Srila Prabhupada to support our personal position or something like that. So I was just wondering, a part of the process maybe to just really open our hearts with faith, or in the association of somebody else who has that faith, even if we may not have it, and just let this wash over us and cleanse our hearts. And then maybe as we make progress in our relationships and also in our spiritual life, then we can have more discussions that's actual spiritual discussions and actual Krishna Katha.
That's good too. I mean, contentiousness is not necessarily bad, as Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Swami writes in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that yet one should not avoid discussions of Siddhanta, because such discussions strengthen the mind. And I think of another statement that Srila Prabhupada made in Hyderabad. I mean, it may not be applicable, but at the Hyderabad farm, there were 3 leaders, devotees, who were all very strong-willed and independent-minded. And Srila Prabhupada said, you come together, you discuss, you fight like cats and dogs, and when you all agree, you go ahead.
Thank you very much.
Raghava Pandit Prabhu has a request to speak. Raghava Pandit Prabhu, will you unmute and make your comment, he says?
Yeah, before that, I just want to read that exact verse that I quoted from Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, because there's one important part to it that I didn't mention. So the verse is Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi 2:17. Siddhanta Balya Chite Nakara Alasa, Iha Haite Krishna Lage Sudri Da Manasa. A sincere student should not neglect the discussion of such conclusions, that means Siddhanta, considering them controversial. For such discussions strengthen the mind. Thus, one's mind becomes attached to Sri Krishna.
Thank you.
All right, we're ready.
Thank you. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Raghava Pandit Prabhu, will you please unmute and make your comment?
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Prabhupada Dati Priya Shri Giriraj Swami Subhakti Sastra Vidyaya Veda Sadhana Sami Radha Rasa Vihari Vyen Bhaktavya Chapman Hare Krishna Guru Bhakti.
Hare Krishna.
It's nice to see you and be in association of the devotees. Am I coming through clearly, loud enough?
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I just wanted to read a little extract which was written by Bhakti Giriraj Swami. And it gave me, the first time I read it, it gave me a lot of kind of inspiration and motivation like that. So it is just about a paragraph. And he's writing about the time when he visited you in Carpentier. Okay. So he's saying, it was indeed a spiritual retreat to meet these two very exalted devotees and very dear disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So he's referring to you and Indigenous one. Giriraj Maharaj has a place in Santa Barbara, which is about 1.5 hours drive from Los Angeles. It is a very serene and beautiful place, famous for avocado and various fruit orchards. As soon as I reached, practically straight away, Giriraj Maharaj and I began discussing various spiritual topics. And the Juna Maharaj had a severe migraine, so he was taking rest in his room. But when he got to know that I had arrived, he immediately came. He mentioned I jumped out of my bed, totally disregarding my headache, took my bath, and came running to meet you. For about 3 hours, we had very stimulating discussions about various spiritual topics on how to spread this Krishna consciousness movement all over the world, overcoming various difficulties and hurdles, and thus fulfilling the prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then he quotes a verse, he says, Yata Yata Gora Padara Vinde, Vindete Bhaktim Krita Punyarasi, Tata Tatot Sarpati Vidaye Kasmad, Radha Padam Buddha Sudham Buddhasi. I wrote the translation on a piece of paper as follows. As one develops his attachment to the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, due to heaps of pious activity, accordingly, all of a sudden his heart becomes inundated with the nectar emanating from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. And the Juna Maharaj, out of his humility, took a photo of me writing the translation and said with a bright smile that he would stick the photograph in that sheet and preserve it. He also said, and then eventually I will auction it to my disciples. He mentioned how he once took the handwritten notes that Radhanath Swami had used in his lecture. Later on the occasion of one of Radhanath Swami's disciples' birthday, he presented it to him, and the disciple was very happy. The disciple naturally considered that this was one of the best gifts he had ever received. And the Juna Swami really knows how to collect nectar and distribute it. It's a very beautiful article. It continues, but I just found it very stimulating and inspiring. And I really like that second part of the quote where Bhakti Giriraj Maharaj says that all of a sudden his heart becomes inundated with nectar emanating from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. So, in regards to that discussion we're having today, I'm reading that again. I just feel that many wonderful things can actually emerge from this. What we are going to basically be doing, getting together to read Prabhupada's books together. And actually it was an instruction you gave me when I came back from India in 1990.
Where is that picture of you in our pictures? Something.
Yeah, at that time, in 1990, I'd come back very sick from India because I had a severe bout of typhoid. And the year following that, you had come to South Africa and we had done a most beautiful Nectar of Devotion seminar in Durban. And although I'd attended the same seminar in Vrindavan, basically attending that seminar again with you in Durban just completely rejuvenated us. And then this before you left, you gave me an instruction. You said that I should teach, even though I was very sick and I was not capable of doing it. But you gave me an instruction that I should teach the Bhagavad Gita to the devotees. And I struggled to go through it, and I completed that because it was an instruction from you. And so I just thought that was very profound, because even at the time when I wasn't able to speak, but because your order was there, I was able to successfully accomplish it. And yet at other times when I might just be reading without, this kind of reading, many times I started a reading of the Bhagavad Gita, but I haven't completed it. So I think your instruction that we all should get together to read is very profound, and I hope some good fruits actually come from it. Hare Krishna.
Very good. Nice. Yeah, Burijan Prabhu often says the best way to learn something is to teach it.
Thank you very much, Raghava Pandit Prabhu, for your nice statement and reading of HH Giriraj Swami's message. Since there's no further questions, we would like to proceed with the program regarding now a little description by Kamala Sundari Prabhu about the operation of the reading groups, how these reading groups will go about, how you can assess them. So I will ask Raja Sundari Prabhu to please unmute and explain, please.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And yes, so I'm gonna describe the overview of the operation of the reading groups. So the reading groups are going to be coordinated by an initial group of facilitators on Zoom or any other virtual platform that everyone's comfortable with to start off with. So yeah, we're going to start on Zoom. And then the time for these, at the reading groups, there will be time allocated for reading, discussion, and sharing. And this will be decided by the devotees that join the groups collectively, once they do join groups. And then devotees that join these reading groups, they may take turns if they're comfortable to lead and read the discussion, read and lead the discussion. So if a facilitator may not be there for some reason, the reading group can still go on. So how can we join these groups? So you can contact a facilitator, which I'm going to introduce shortly, and whoever you choose, you could choose more if your schedule allows, if you want to join more than one reading group. So the facilitators will arrange an initial virtual meeting with the group members that contact them, and then they can discuss the frequency and the duration of the reading groups collectively. Some facilitators have decided on some times. So as soon as we have the full list of the chosen times and dates, we will post it on the groups, on the WhatsApp groups. So we will share all the confirmed information as well. And if for some reason devotees join a group and it doesn't suit their schedule, they may also join a different group that may suit their schedules as well. So, so now I'd like to introduce the initial facilitators. These facilitators, I'm sure most of you know them, but for those that may not know them, we are introducing them, and so I'll introduce them in alphabetical order. So first we have His Grace Keshava Krishna Prabhu, and Keshava Krishna Prabhu joined ISKCON 41 years ago. He currently serves as the ombudsperson for the ISKCON Resolve, and Prabhu also serves at the Jiva Academy and at the ISKCON Review Committee. Then we have Mother Malika. Mother Malika, she joined ISKCON 36 years ago, and she's currently very involved in the deity department at the Sri Sri Radharadhana Temple, as well as counseling devotees. We then have Pundarik Vidyanidhi Prabhu, and he is going to be joined, assisted by Ishwarapuri Prabhu. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi Prabhu, he joined ISKCON some 35 years ago, and Prabhu currently serves as a facilitator at the Bhaktivedanta College and assists in temple preaching and counseling devotees and cooking. We then have His Grace Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu, and Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu joined ISKCON 36 years ago, and he currently resides and serving at the Sri Sri Radharadhana Temple, and he's involved in the temple maintenance. He's also the National Secretary for ISKCON Namibia. We then have Rasaraj Prabhu. He joined ISKCON many years ago, and he currently serves as a pujari at the Sri Sri Radhanath Temple. We then have His Grace Rupa Raghunath Prabhu, and he joined ISKCON some 37 years ago. His current areas of service is he's a chairman of the Independent Complaints Office, and that's an affiliate of ISKCON Resolve. We then have Sudama Prabhu, who joined ISKCON 24 years ago, and he currently serves as the media and design for the ISKCON Namibia project. He also serves for our Guru Maharaj's media department, and he edits videos. We then have Kamala Sundari Dasi, that's me. So I assist the ISKCON Vaishnavi Ministry of South Africa when I can, and some areas at the temple. So that's the facilitators. So these are the details of the facilitators that you may contact. These details will also be shared on the WhatsApp groups and on the Zoom chat. So yeah, you will have the details at hand to contact everyone. And if I was unclear about anything, or if you require any further information or need any assistance, please contact Madam Kunja Viharini, and she'll be happy to assist you and provide feedback on any queries. So, thank you.
Hare Krishna, Kamala Sundari Prabhu, thank you very much. So we will be posting on the WhatsApp groups information if you missed anything, like Amala Sundar Prabhu said. Before we continue the next item, we were able to get Sudama Prabhu. Are you able to show? Yes, this is. Yeah, I can increase. This is Bhakti Giriraj Swami note. On the verse that we're quoting. That was being read a few minutes ago. As one develops his attachment, lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, due to heaps of pious activities, accordingly his heart gets inundated all of a sudden by the nectar emanating from the lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. Sri Chaitanya Chandramrita by Srila Prabhupada Sarasvati, chapter 8, text 88. Bhakti Giriraj Swami note on that verse. Thank you very much. It's wonderful. We will now proceed to hear from a wonderful devotee that we all know, very dear to everyone, about his experience and realizations on reading in Association of Devotees. Mahaprabhu, yes. Will you unmute? Mahaprabhu Prabhu Das. You are unmuted now. You can speak. We can.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, all tourists, Srila Prabhupada, all tourists, your Divine Lotus Feet, and all tourists, all the devotees. And thanks for being given this opportunity. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Putale Shrimati Giriraj Swami Nitinamine, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pistaya Putale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine, Namaste Saraswati Tere Gauravani Pracharine, Nevisesa Sunyavari Pasatari Starine, Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Kadadara Svasadi Shikora Bhaktavrinda. So, yes, I'm asked to speak in this regard, and Devotee Association, it's very important. I guess Srila Prabhupada said most of our advancement is based on association. And we can understand what is happening in that association. Without discussion, where does that association lead us? So we have to associate with the devotees. And reading Srila Prabhupada's books is just what is needed. Srila Prabhupada has spent sleepless nights. Srila Prabhupada has painstakingly translated these books for us to read them. Srila Prabhupada said these books, they are not for distribution only, but they are also for reading. So we should read Srila Prabhupada's books in the association of the devotees. And of course, books are the basis. And in the association of the devotees, what does association mean? Or of course, reading Srila Prabhupada's books. All of us here in this Zoom, if we're given a verse, from Bhagavad Gita, one verse from Bhagavad Gita, and then we're all gonna give on this verse for the next couple of days or a month or whatever, depending how many we are. If we had to speak on that one verse, all of us will speak differently. We won't speak the same because we have got different realizations. So, we'll be looking at the same verse, one verse, but from different angles. of vision, from different devotees' realizations. So it is important because, yes, books are the basis. These books, of course, Guru Maharaj did say this. I listened to one of the classes Guru Maharaj gave. And then these books of Srila Prabhupada keeps us in Krishna consciousness. They keep us in Krishna consciousness. And service makes us happy. So these books, they keep us from Maya. Srila Prabhupada, as I said before, painstakingly translated these books for us so that we can understand what this material world is all about and how to associate with one another. Everything is in Srila Prabhupada's books. For myself, I know because I'm always caught up here in Soweto alone, and especially during this pandemic period, I'm always caught up alone here, and then I have no senior association, you could say. I don't have senior association. And because of this, I'm always reading Srila Prabhupada's books, even Guru Maharaj's books, so that they keep me alive. They keep me alive. And I guess I'm still in Krishna consciousness today because of Srila Prabhupada's books. This period, the pandemic, has made me understand or even appreciate devotees more. Because previously, I guess, I was taking devotees for granted. I was really taking devotees for granted. But during this period, not seeing devotees that much, it made me appreciate devotees very, very, very much. And also, like, once in a while, I go to Durban because I'm always involved here and so doing so much. And sometimes, believe me, I have to admit that I don't read that much, really. But getting the opportunity to go to Durban during the holidays, I go down to Durban, and then I got to read a lot, because in Durban, especially Swarup, they engage me in giving classes in the morning. Most of the days when I'm there for about a month or so, I'm always giving classes, and in that regard, I'm able to read a lot, and appreciate the devotees a lot, and so we should really appreciate what Srila Prabhupada has done for us, because if it wasn't Srila Prabhupada, especially speaking for myself, I don't know where I would be by now. I really don't know where I would be. And I'm still around in Krishna consciousness is because of Srila Prabhupada's books and the Association of the Devotees. And I'd like to thank everybody for that. Being surrounded by nice God brothers and sisters and all the devotees, senior devotees, encouraging me to come along. This actually goes a long way for me. And it makes me understand and appreciate Krishna consciousness more. So yes, thank you very much. And I think this program of reading Srila Prabhupada's books in the Association of the Devotees will again encourage me more to read Srila Prabhupada's books and again appreciate devotees, because we are all messy cases. Personally speaking about myself, I'm a messy case, and I depend on the devotees' mercy to help me all the time. So thank you very much, and I hope this program of reading Srila Prabhupada's books will really encourage me more to be more Krishna conscious. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Bravo, bravo.
Mada Vishaka.
Hari Hari Bol. Mahaprabhuji ki jai.
Hare Krishna, Mada Vishaka.
So wonderful to see you.
Yeah,
my heart is melting.
See you. Oh, that's my heart actually. I'm still in Krishna consciousness because of you and Rupa. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. I hope to see you again sometime.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, for sure we will. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mahaprabhu, Prabhu, thank you for sharing your realizations and your uplifting spirit and energy. Now we'd like to call on Swarab Damodar Prabhu again to please summarize and give us some of his final thoughts as well.
Hare Krishna, devotees. Yeah, such a wonderful experience, this launch after reading an association program under Guru Maharaj's shelter. And thank you for Guru Maharaj for investing your blessings and your potency to the devotees. As you said, to the degree that they take it seriously, they will be reciprocated with by your mercy, Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Lord Chaitanya's mercy, Radha and Krishna's mercy. So, yeah, devotees, we have all the information before us now, all the opportunities. These the details will be shared on the chat groups, the WhatsApp chat groups, for all of you to consider. And over the next few days, please do contact the facilitators of your choice, and they'll start discussing with you, or they'll arrange a group meeting to discuss the frequency of y'all's group, the date and times, and the group and the books that y'all will be exploring together systematically. We hope this program will be very beneficial. We know it will be beneficial to y'all, and we hope to hear from you from time to time about y'all's realizations. We will arrange possibly once or twice a year a larger gathering for the devotees to share their realizations in terms of their experiences, and hopefully Guru Maharaj will also bless us on those occasions. Just like Srila Prabhupada was writing to Balai Mataji, the letter that he's always waiting to hear about the developments on the ISKCON. So I'm sure Guru Maharaj will also be happy to hear from time to time how things are going. And to the devotees in the other regions and countries, please also let's encourage each other by you all taking up this program. The senior devotees in your groups, I'm sure, can get together and plan similar similar programs. And we'd be happy to help share our planning with you all as well. One very important announcement I'd also like to make now, before we hand over to Guru Maharaj to close the program, is that finally, we have been told that Guru Maharaj's book, I'll Build You a Temple, the Juhu story, will be arriving in South Africa, the Durban harbor. We were told it'll arrive, it's due to dock on Tuesday, 23rd, just in time for Go Purnima. So hopefully we'd have the books cleared in a couple of days and being sold. So devotees, please be vigilant. We only have a few books, so please take them as soon as possible. You may contact the group facilitators as well, and they'll help guide you, or someone from the groups will help guide you on getting your copies. And we hope you'll also take many copies to also share with friends and families, selling to them. This book is, as Vaisheshika Prabhu had commented, I heard it's a historic book. It's going to be a handbook for Prabhupada's movement, from Prabhupada's own words to his dear disciple, who he trained directly in how to manage a community and a temple, that being our Guru Maharaj. So thank you, Guru Maharaj, for participating in this program. Thank you to Kunti Devi Mataji for inspiring us in the first place in all of this. Mahaprabhu Das for sharing your ecstatic realizations. And we also got a surprise blessing from Mother Vishaka, one of our senior most God sisters. So thank you, Mataji, for also joining us and for your blessings as well. So now we could request Guru Maharaj to please lead us into closing the ceremony as he would like, if he would like. Even we could also...
before we close, we have
Okay.
a little surprise pictures that we were able to find while the program was going on, just to show you all about the wonderful association of Bhakti Chiru Swami and Guru Maharaj and Indra Swami all together. Sudama Prabhu.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Sudama Prabhu, for these beautiful pictures that fills our heart to see Guru Maharaj together with God brothers. It just inundates our heart with the love that is shared between all of them. We thank you very much for the beautiful pictures. So now we will ask then Guru Maharaj to, if you have any concluding words, anything else you'd like to say, and to end the program.
Well, it's been very ecstatic having all of your association, especially in relation to, reading Srila Prabhupada's books and discussing them. Yeah, it's true. He would hardly sleep at night. He would generally retire at about 10. And then after 2 hours at, say, midnight, he would get up, and then while we were all sleeping, he would be translating his books. So, yeah, we should, show our appreciation and gratitude for his effort and care by reading them and discussing them. Otherwise, we can conclude with Vaishnava Pranam now. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who are just like desire trees, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, and are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakalpa Trubhascha
Kripa Sindhyaya Pacha Patitam Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai.
Jai.
Srila Giriraj Swami Maharaj Ki
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta
Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Before we close completely, we wanted to thank all of you, dear devotees, dear loving devotees, for being part of this wonderful program. We want to also thank all the facilitators, Keshava Krishna Prabhu, Rupa Raghunath Prabhu, Malika Prabhu, Pundarik Vidyanidhi and Nishwar Prabhu, Raghunath Bhatta Prabhu, Rasaraj Prabhu, Sudam Prabhu, and Kamala Sundari Prabhu. We want also to thank Sudama Prabhu for the wonderful work that he did in compiling all the videos, the photos, for organizing all the technical part. We thank him very, very much. We also want to thank Kamala Sundari Prabhu for helping co-hosting beautifully. Thank you. And Swarup Damodar Prabhu for his wonderful insights and wonderful description of what we're doing, and for inciting everyone in Krishna consciousness through this program, or organizing this program. And obviously to Guru Maharaj for inspiring us, for guiding us, for being the focus of our love and the loving devotional service. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
75.
Sundari, you go. You cannot hear you. Cannot hear you. You're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, and of course, we'd like to thank His Grace Sundarananda Prabhu for being so efficient and for gently ensuring everything gets done well in advance. So thank you, Prabhu, for helping us and coordinating this project. We are really grateful to you.
Giriraj Swami Maharaj ki jai.
And yes, thank you again to all the devotees for participating, and thank you again to Guru Maharaj and Mother Kunti Devi. Thank you, Guru Maharaj, for your time and for blessing us and blessing this endeavor. And like you mentioned at your Vyasa Puja, you want your disciples to encourage and support each other. So this is a excellent platform that we hope will be successful. So Sundarananda Prabhu.
Well, if all the devotees would like to unmute and directly say
Hare Krishna.
something.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare
Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sorry, can
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Looks like Guru Maharaj is gone.
No, he hasn't.
No.
No.
Hare Krishna. Mother Shilavati is actually with Mother Nikunja Viharini, and yes, she would like to speak with Guru Maharaj. So if Sudama Prabhu, could you please? Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj, for your encouragement and for your support and for your association, divine association. Thank you.
Right. Glad to see you.
I'm blessed to see you, Guru Maharaj. All of us are blessed.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think there's an issue with the sound feedback coming through from Nikunja Viharini. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, what I said was if Nikunja Viharini Mataji, if there's another device that's on, if she switches it off, there won't be any feedback sound and we can hear. If Madhushilavati still wants to say something. Okay, then I think there's also Mother Nikunja Viharini also mentioned there's a heavy storm that took place there, so they actually lost connection. So I guess that's the reason. So then, sadly, I guess. Okay, someone is speaking. Yeah, if that's it, then sadly we have to end the meeting. Yeah. I wish we didn't have to, but
we'll be through service. We'll be together through service. We won't be separate.
Okay, devotees, thank you all so much. Hare Krishna, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Haribol.
Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Haribol.